yeah, after not being selected initially into the Grand Prix, there's definitely a point to prove.
Sea Otter went about as well as it could have on the day. Yeah, I'm still waiting for that breakthrough race where everything goes right, and when it does, I know I've got the legs to get on the podium.
What a ride. This is a huge, huge arrival for a young rider.
And yeah, it was just a matter of time for everything to go right and yeah, happen on the biggest day on the calendar. Yeah, I guess post Unbound, I think the huge start of the season of training load and everything kind of caught up to me. The body was like, you've done what you're training for, and then kind of switched off for a bit, which I think was a healthy thing to do mid-season after such a big race and build-up. Yeah, I mean, when you are training so hard, it feels like if you have 2 days off the bike, it feels like you're losing fitness. But I think, yeah, my brain and body was letting me know that I needed a bit of time off, just dealing with all of the hype post-Unbound. There was a lot of media and just getting back to all the awesome supporters that were so stoked on the result as well. Then I had to go back to New Zealand for a couple of weeks just to sort of reset my visa to finish off the season, and then came straight back for Leadville. Going into Leadville, I suspected it might be my drop race. On paper, it's probably wasn't my best chance of a good result. The other races probably suited me more, but I wanted to, do the best I could. Yeah, I guess I've always seen long, steep climbs as one of my weaknesses on the bike, and so at Leadville, at the turnaround point at the top of Columbine, which is a long, steep climb, where I found myself in the group of 8 sort of fighting for 4th place. That was probably one of my proudest moments of the bike. Ended up finishing 12th, which was 9th place Grand Prix points, which was the same as my Sea Otter, so my joint worst at the time. I guess I sort of took every race as a standalone race. It was only the 3rd race of the series, so you can't think too much about the overall. I think Schrammergon I probably had the most nerves, because being such a short race, sort of the one little mistake can mean more because you got less time to get back into the race. Schrammergon always comes down to quite a close finish, and so like a second here or there could be multiple places, and that's how it ended up being. I was in a sprint finish for like 2nd or 3rd place with 15 guys, and so yeah, Schrammergon went reasonably well. I got 6th place Grand Prix points, which was solid, and yeah, kept me up in the top of the standings. And it wasn't until after Schrammergon, when I got back to home in Virginia and had 4 weeks sort of in one spot to train, that I really sort of started to feel like my pre-Unbound self again. And so coming into Little Sugar, I've got some good sensations in the legs, and yeah, hopefully we can have the kind of form they had at Unbound. What are your memories of the place? And this is actually where I started my US career in April last year, and the cheapest way to live was get a U-Haul van, $15 Walmart airbed, and park in the Walmart car park. So I spent 2 of my first weeks in the States living like that. So yeah, that was down in Rogers, just down the road. So yeah, that was my first memories of the Bentonville area. We've been trying to get our core activated, so we've been doing the 6-minute 6-pack routine every day, most days. Still stretching out the 14-hour drive stiffness. This sketchy witch doctor, kinesiologist, chiropractor guy gave me this. Yeah, as soon as Little Sugar was announced as part of the Grand Prix series, I was super excited. I'd ridden a bunch of the course here last year before Sea Otter, so I had a feel for what it was like, and I knew that it would be a place that would let technical handling skills shine. I knew that the terrain would sort of shrink the number of riders that were sort of in contention for a top result, just with the skill element. yeah, knowing that the legs are feeling like they were before Unbound, and some of the training sessions, I'm getting back to those pre-Unbound numbers and same feeling. So yeah, things are looking good.
He's calculated. He does the numbers. So he'll, after the Unbound, he said, look, I had just as much chance of winning it as anyone else, and I can put down more watts than most, and that's what I can do. So I back myself. I mean, probably in terms of races that he hasn't done so well in, it's often a matter of that he just didn't back himself. It's like, back yourself, man. Put the jandle down and get into it.
Actually made me a lot less nervous seeing that there's a proper minute and a half climb going into the single track. Yeah, I guess with any single track race, there's an advantage being in the front going into single track. It's just that accordion effect while you all come in a big bunch, but every single place you can make up before the single track is going to be well worth the effort spent. Yeah, when I was second wheel behind Bears into the single track and we had a bit of a gap, I was like, go on son, telling them that we had a gap and to keep pushing. 3 of the other best mountain bikers in the race all around me, and we had a bit of a gap. I think I exchanged some words with Braden, like, no one's going to be descending quicker than us, just hyping ourselves up, knowing that our technical skills were sort of unrivaled there. I managed to get to the front, and once you got some sort of clear air and get out of sight, that's a good thing. The people behind can't follow the pace. Yeah, I just from then focused on riding my own race. There's no drafting or tactics in mountain biking. It's just the person that rides the course the fastest. And so to do that, I had to stay on my bike, keep air in the tyres, just make no mistakes. And so it was mentally a pretty draining effort, just being fully focused the whole time. From maybe minute 20 in the race, I was in the lead, and so the next 4 hours I was in the front just doing my thing. I wasn't concerned about people coming back to me. I just had to ride hard and not make mistakes. One of my main thoughts technically was to not slide the wheels at all, because as soon as you skid on sharp rocks, that's when your tyres slice over rocks, and so keep the wheels rolling was the focus. Yeah, I was worried that I'd pace the first sort of third of the race unsustainably, and I was starting to cramp up by a third of the way in, which was, it raised some sort of warning bells. I was able to sort of sit back into that lead when I was starting to cramp up and sort of, get the legs right again and ready to rip again.
For overall distance of about 63 miles. So we know our current leader, Cam Jones, we assume he's still solo. And last check, he had a 90-second gap. All the way from New Zealand to Bentonville, Arkansas, Cam Jones taking out the title here today.
Yeah, it was a pretty special moment to win in the most technical race of the series, one I was looking forward to for such a long time. I wasn't thinking too much about the overall, but I knew it would be the best thing I could have done for my overall series ranking. Mostly just glad to be finished. It was such a grueling day out there, cramping up so early, and legs were pretty dead by the end. Yeah, it was so cool to have Dad here, like he was at Unbound, like my good luck charm there to bring him through to a few more races, and to have the New Zealand flag to put over my shoulders at the end was pretty cool. We're here staying with a house full of Kiwis, and it's a super cool vibe. I think it's certainly helps the racing when you can just be so relaxed and having a fun time off the bike. So everything sort of set the scene for a good race.
Join me in welcoming your champion on the day to the top step, Cam Jones.
Yeah, like most races, you're trying to minimize your time at the event, come in just enough time for pre-riding, and it's always a real whirlwind of a week. But this trip, having a whole full week between the two races, pretty cruisy week. We had a real good house of fellow Kiwis, and all speak the same language. had a couple of barbecues, just people to pre-ride with, and it was just super cool vibes all week, and I think put me in a really good headspace for the race. Yeah, I knew that Sea Otter and Unbound would be solid races for me. I wasn't as confident in Leadville, but after having a solid Leadville, I knew that I had as good a chance as anyone of winning the remaining races. Even before the official updated leaderboards came out, we were on the previous leaderboards crunching the numbers and seeing how everyone's Little Sugar result was going to put the standings heading into Big Sugar. And I did the best thing I could have done for my result, but I was also fortunate in that all the people ahead of me didn't have the best races for lack of luck or lack of mountain bike experience. And so, yeah, it actually moved me back up within 1 point of the overall series lead. So there's 4 of us within 2 points at the top of the leaderboard. And basically, whoever wins out of us 4, so that's Keegan, Jorborn and Simon, wins the series. So it's a winner takes all. I don't think I ever dreamed of winning the series. Yeah, after not being selected initially into the Grand Prix, there's definitely a point to prove, which I did at Unbound and then here, and to win the whole series would really top it off.
Sure. And I mean, it's a cool story, eh? You know, right? Yeah, you couldn't have scripted this, and you didn't. You know, yeah. I mean, I think when we think back to the coast to coast, when he did that, and he was young, he had to get dispensation from the race director to be able to do the coast to coast, let alone even have a dream about winning it. But he knew right from when he entered that he wanted to win that race. And we're like, yeah, no, that'll be good. Thinking, no way. Yeah, that sort of mentality now going through into Unbound, into Little Sugar. You know, he gets that sort of look in his eye the morning when he wakes up, and yeah, you know, it's on. I don't know. I'd put a lazy hundy on him.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think going to bed the night before Big Sugar, like, I could feel my heart rate was noticeably higher, as relaxed as I tried to make myself. My body and everything knew that there was some high stakes coming up, and yeah, I think I was nervous inside. My first impressions when they said it was a shorter course was like, we are on!
What's the chat? What's the news?
Half the distance, twice the intensity. Yeah, definitely pretty excited about this one. Not sad at all. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, I knew. Well, both courses suit me, but I think the shorter one was more suited to me than others. The course had potentially less technical terrain, but the speed we were doing it, because everyone had more energy and less time to use it, it made the easier course more technical, just at the high speeds and the real fight for positioning.
And they're off! It's the 2025 Lifetime Big Sugar Gravel presented by Kinetic. Run on the marbles today! Run on the line!
Yeah, I think it was just after when I put in an attack, Matt Beers, Matt Wilson, and a couple of others went for an attack themselves, and as soon as I saw, I knew that no one in that group was a threat to me in the overall, and so to give my buddy a chance to get a result, I was all in for. After that, it became clear, like, even a full gas attack by me wasn't going to break that group up. There was just too much firepower and people that had nothing to lose in that group, that it was going to be hard to get a select group of Grand Prix riders away. Even the motion of making an attack, while you don't get away, you make the people that are on the back foot and chasing from further back, you make it really hard on them. And so that repeated over the day is going to suit you in the finish if you're the one making the moves. After half a dozen climbs, it became clear that Keegan was the strongest on the climbs. He'd always just do seated attacks as hard as he could up every climb. It filled me with a lot of confidence that I was able to match him for most of the climbs. It was just the one longest one that sort of got over 2 minutes that I was slightly dropped, but then again I was still in front of the other two that I was fighting for with the overall. Coming up the final little kicker into town, I knew I was in a good spot. I knew that others were hurting a bit more than me. I was mentally confident in my sprint. When I saw Keegan launch his sprint first, I knew that's the wheel I had to be on. That was the guy I had to beat to win the overall. I was looking up, seeing the line further away than I'd hoped, but with so much on the line, there's no way you're gonna let up at any point. Like once you've started sprinting, you're committed to it. Just keep reminding myself what was on the line.
I get it.
I think you got it.
Woo! You got it. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Oh, knock it out of the way.
Woo! Oh, shot bro.
Hi, buddy.
Keep it season. Woo!
I'm the Grand Prix. Holy. How did that happen?
Yeah, it's such a cool community we've got around this North American scene. It was a pretty cool finish line moment, just being able to dapper everyone up and just congratulate everyone on what they've done in the race or the season. And yeah, I don't think anywhere along the way until maybe the last couple of days did I ever feel like winning the Grand Prix overall was a goal. I came to the US just trying not to have to work a day job.
I guess the one thing about Cameron, you know, when we were doing the XCO and if I was feeding him, every time he'd come past, he'd like, thanks, had a smile on his face, you know, get to the end, doesn't matter what the results, he had a smile on his face. And yeah, I think we're seeing that now. You see his photos in the Lifetime, and he's got a smile on his face. And hell, if you haven't got a smile on your face, don't go there.
Little Sugar. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion of the 2025 Lifetime Grand Prix, Cam Jones.
Yeah, I saw the US racing scene as a way to make a career on the bike, and like last year I made that kind of a reality, and then this year set myself up for doing it for many years to come.
So 28-inch pizzas, that's the size of a basically 29 bike wheel. Go. Angie's off.
We got post-match interview here, Ken. How are we feeling?
Not one more bite. I think there's a future in it for me. Gravel racing is just professional eating.
Exactly. Hey, remember he said that.
Eating competition. Unbound 2026 training starts here.